Hello, everybody. It's Elaine Nieberding, and welcome to episode 22. Yeah, that's a master number of the Holy Shift Show. Today is April 14th, 2015, and I am broadcasting from Bel Air, Maryland. And we have a global collection of panelists today, and we're here to talk about Holy Bejesus. How do we find joy on the hero's journey? And interestingly, I didn't even think I was going to do a hangout this week. I thought I was going to give myself full time to just get my income taxes done. Well, lo and behold, Sunday morning I woke up, I'd gotten an email from Anne, and some of the things in there were nudging me to look at this whole thing about the hero's journey. And I knew Monty and Katrina and Andy were due to launch, a new program with the Hero's Journey as part of the focus. And I thought, maybe we should do a hangout. Let's see if we can get things together. And lo and behold, in a couple hours, everything came together. We announced the show, and here we are. Now, some of you know I'm a holistic nurse and a teacher of laughter yoga, and of course, I love being my yucky self. Yucky by meaning ha ha ha, yucking self. But Anne is also a laughter professional, Anne Timpany, and we are likely to be doing some laughing on this show, so get ready. Right now I want to introduce everybody on the panel. Let me start out with Andy Brine. Tell us where you're hanging out from, Andy.
Right, I'm just unmuted myself there. Yeah, I'm hanging out from Winchester in the UK. So in the UK today, looking forward to a great show. Should be a lot of fun, and I love the hero's journey. So gonna be
great. And Andy, just give us a brief description, a quick bio of what you do.
Well, in terms of the hero's journey, I'm really passionate about the hero's journey. I first found out about it quite a long time ago now. I went to a seminar in my local area, and I thought it was fascinating, and I studied literally everything that I could find on Joseph Campbell after that. But no, it's just it's amazing how it applies to each one of our lives as well. So it's going to be good to touch on it soon.
Okay, and so I know Andy as a hangout host. He's really concerned about sustainability, and he has a website and coaching services called hangouttribes.com. And now I'm going to jump on over to Anne Timpany. Anne Timpany, where are you hanging out from? This is a loaded
Hi,
question.
Everyone. Yeah, that's right. I am in Idaho. Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha. Out here in the Mountain West.
And Anne, I see your website is Embodying Joy, so I guess you're a joy bug like me, huh?
I am. I'm a joy enthusiast, joy aficionado, joy coach, and joy leader in every sense of the word.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you could be with us and hang out. Last year, you joined me for the World Laughter Day Hangouts with a group of new laughter yoga leaders that you were certifying. But I'm glad to have you back for exploring new territory.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all evolved into the Academy for Joyful Leadership, so we'll talk about that as we go.
Okay. And now I'm jumping on over to Katrina Fancook, and that is Fancook that does not start with the letter F. It starts with PF. Hi, Katrina. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi there, Lane. It's always good to be on your show because I always smile a lot. I'm always laughing, and that's always a plus. I am a creativity consultant and coach. I'm also a writer and an empath. And I think that those skills blended together really, it helps me get people through their own creative blocks, and that's a passion of mine.
Okay, and now I'm going to jump on over to Dr. Manny St. Victor, who has with him his little baby, 4 months old, Amani.
Aww.
And we've made an agreement that if Mani starts being real vocal, that Dr. Mani's going to be muted.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I wish I could apply it at home too sometimes,
Yeah, but the wonderful thing is, this little precious one being with us is really a remembrance for all of us. We want to connect with our child within, with our innocence, with our youth. For every time some part of us we let go, it dies because we're in a new realm of experience. We're touching that child in, but just at a different level. So how perfect it is that she's on your lap, keeping you remember that truth, Monty.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
us a
she's
little
my-
bit about what you did, or your doctoring and that kind of stuff.
Well, I was in my psychiatry residency when I was getting a little bit frustrated because I was studying anchoring, and it seemed to me that medicine had a bit of a pessimistic illness identity anchoring. So even if you got better, you were always a sick patient, and that bothered me just to be looking at life through that lens. I started looking at neuroscience more empirically, and I'm a math geek, so I started looking at that. And the data, the numbers didn't have the meaning that I needed them to have, so I kept digging deeper until eventually I ended up with the statistics, which brought me to the Jungian archetype, to like math models of Jung. And then I needed something to take me through my autobiography, and then I happened upon The Hero's Journey, and I was intrigued by it. And I've been in there ever since, kind of going down and matching the math to the journey, because that's what I geek about.
Great. So we're going to have a dynamic conversation today, and we're also going to be weaving in the participation and comments of our flockers. That's what I affectionately call the viewers and visitors to the Holy Shift Show stream. If you're watching live, or if you're even watching replay, we do invite your comments in the G Plus comment stream or on the YouTube comment stream, and we will address those as we go along. Right now, I want to say hello to my gal Robin Holland, who's saying howdy, Flocksters. Ron Schneeberger is here, saying hi, everyone. Marcus Dieterle from Germany is here, saying hello, everybody. Nicole Levak is here, looking forward to this discussion, she says. Jim Sharp is hanging out. He says, afternoon from Central Texas. Joy Baldoz, she's hanging out from California. She's watching from sunny California. Yep, we got a truly global audience for the Holy Shift Show. Dave Pipe, evening from Sussex, hello. And how wonderful this is going to be. So, what I would like to start out with is, first of all, setting this intention that for the conversation that emerges today, it's going to be one which will bring blessing to all the people who are watching live, as well as all the people who kind of, in the cosmic scheme of things, know sooner or later they're going to come and watch this show. And we're going to trust that the things that are elicited to be spoken from our human mouths will indeed help elicit the awarenesses, the blessings, the opening up to joy, and the connection with that ever-evolving inner child, that natural state of joy. And so what I'd like to invite all of my panelists to do and my viewers to do, we're first going to realize to be in balance, we need to be joining this head, this mind, this consciousness stuff with the heart, the thinking awareness place with the feeling state. And so head is spelled H-E-A-D. So we're going to abbreviate it, and we're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're just going to say Panelist, can you follow that along with me? Unmute. Okay, audience, let's do this together. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. One more time, take a deep breath in. Andy, I want to hear you. Let's get a little vocal. Break self-imposed limitations. Okay, I hope some of you are laughing along, entering into new territory, and in laughter yoga practice, this is a form of this. We say, fake it till you make it. So it's fine if you don't even feel like doing this or it feels like stupid or dumb. You're just deciding, I'm going to join the flock and play along, because play is a very, very good thing. Okay, so now we're going to do one more round, and that's with heart. And instead of saying heart, 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 we're going to say har, 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 har. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, smile. And say har, har, har until we get all of their air out. And that's, let's go of all that stale air. And here we go. Deep breath in. Har, 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 har. Once again, deep breath in. Har, 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 har. Come on, Andy. And as we say in laughter yoga, very good, very good. Yay! Okay, so folks, we have a couple more people who have joined us. And Robin Holland has just said, we see everyone at their best when they are smiling on Elaine Nieberding's show. Everyone looks good. Yes, we do look good when we're smiling, and we allow ourselves to smile. And Crystal Kazan is here. Crystal, I'm so glad you're here. And Dave Moore is here. And he's saying hi to other folks. This is what we do on Hangouts, folks. We connect with folks we come to know in these Hangouts. It's so wonderful. Dave's saying, Ron Schneeberger, I didn't know you were in Jupiter, Florida, ha, ha, ha. So I'm so glad everybody's here. I want to bring the conversation in just a minute over to Anne, because this whole conversation was really prompted or nudged me by her sending this email that said, Holy bejesus! That was the title of it. That was, it was an attention grabber. That's for sure. So, interesting, as I was looking in different online dictionaries, both about slang and words and phrases, what I basically came to understand by these authorities was that holy bejeebers, or scaring the bejeebers out of ya, kind of means losing your wits or scaring the crap out of you, or there's another expletive that starts with S and ends in T. In other words, we either get so surprised, so annoyed, or something is showing up that is so radically different than what we're expecting that we let go of an expletive. Now, Margarita Crystal Lotus would call this a flexpletive to be nice. And it occurs to me, since holy bejeebers even might mean like holy crap, it's kind of like excrement. So maybe we're talking about flexcrement. Ha 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 ha. Well, it's funny to some. I think it's funny, and since it's my show, that's the only thing that matters. Anyway, I'm having fun. It's good, Ann, you're not muted, and I'm enjoying your laughing along the way. But anyway, as it turns out, bejeebers is actually a way, or words that often replace bejesus, like scare the bejesus out of you. And how interesting it is, I think a lot of times when we're going along our life journeys and we're called to be really expansive or forgiving, we might be wanting to model, some awakened one, some divine one, and we get really scared if we're supposed to, be like Jesus. So it's a scary alternative, isn't it, to step into that expansive place. But Anne, why don't you just tell me a little bit about why you were writing, because I understand you're, I consider you a quite joyful and awakened person, but nonetheless, stuff still keeps happening, doesn't it?
Yes, thanks, Elaine. So I was writing an email to my list this weekend, and the title was "Why This Talk Scared the Bejeebers Out of Me." And the point I was wanting to discuss was simply that as all of us are wanting to self-actualize and self-realize and embody our very highest potential to live our calling and to share the gifts that we were born to share, that requires an expansion of who we are. And in order to expand, we have to go back and live everything that we have feared, judged, or had resistance to in our lives so that we can bring that part of ourselves into love, into higher consciousness, or into a higher frequency vibration. And so for me, I was pushing through my own edge of my comfort zone by giving a talk on a topic that was new. It was out of my comfort zone. And of course, it stirred up all my fears about, what will people think? Will they receive this well? Who am I to even talk on this topic? I'm not an expert. And it's just one step after another, we get to encounter the parts of ourselves that we've felt not completely in love with and not completely in harmony with. And every opportunity is just a moment that we get to convert that part of ourselves into love. So that was the context of my email.
Yeah, and, okay, so if you are on your journey, and then, you're going along the journey, and, there can be bumps in the road or unexpected things, then, what's the awareness you have of how we shift out of that fear place? And how does joy weave into that?
Well, my motto is something that Eleanor Roosevelt said long ago. She said, "Do one thing each day that scares you." And so if I'm not scared, I'm not leaning into my leading edge enough, and I'm not expanding at the rate that I really want to expand. So it's really about making fear a daily presence in my life, because that means I'm expanding. And it means two things for me. One is feeling the emotion of whatever the fear is fully, just letting it be there. It doesn't mean that anything is a problem. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It's just we are emotional beings, so let it be there. And some days it looks like curling up in a heap and crying my eyes out, and some days it's just doing a freak out dance of, oh my God, how am I going to do this, right? Every day is different. It just depends on what comes up. And then feeling it, being with the energy, and keeping moving anyway.
Beautiful. So let me jump on over to Monty right now, and just, in your journey, in medicine or making shifts that you have, what were some of those, is there even a brief story or a kind of holy bejeebers moment where you realize, man, I have to jump to another level? And then how does that weave into, your own movement to be a part of creating this new journey to collective leadership?
Yeah, my moment was at one point in time I was working trauma ICU, and I remember a patient was like pretty terminally ill, and I was calling their family, and I remember at one point, 2, 3 in the morning, the family was crying, and I was more preoccupied with getting my paperwork done, and I was like, gosh, I wish they'd be quiet so I could finish this paperwork, and then my brain was like, what on earth? I mean, this is not what I set out to do. And that kind of peeled back a layer of starting to realize that increasingly it had become about the paperwork, the phone calls with the insurance companies, and various other things that were far removed from what I cared about, which was helping people feel better. Then other things started making sense to me, where I felt that we had become so concrete. I had learned all these pharmaceutical terms, all these anatomical terms, and I had effectively specialized myself into irrelevance. Like a patient would come in and have something to say that was wrong with them, and the conditioning has it where you're almost looking down on the person because you're imposing your academic terms on someone saying they have a tummy ache. You're like, oh, it's probably a gastritis or whatever, and on and on and on. And I was like, I felt like I was becoming irrelevant. You know, it's not, when you can't resonate with someone and help them from the point of their journey, you've kind of lost the point of going out ahead and learning something. Because half of the hero's journey is you have to come back and help someone with it, and I didn't feel like that was what I was doing. I felt like I was coming back to bludgeon people and condescend people for a living.
Yeah. So you're at a different place now, and how wonderful that you and Andy and Katrina have come together, because together you've sensed this walking the hero's path is apparently not just an individual thing right now. In the green room, we were actually briefly touching on my observation that when Joseph Campbell's work became popular a couple decades ago, there was a growing interest in self-actualization and exploring some of the themes that he brings up. But I think globally and culturally, the number of people looking at this type of expansive transformation is very different than it is now. And we're often now thinking much more in terms of really a collective shift of consciousness, and that the choices and decisions that we make as individuals help fuel it becoming easier for everybody else here, you could say on the planet, or even in a larger sense. So, Katrina, I wonder if you might like to address that a little bit, and
sure.
even weave into that any one of your own holy bejeebers moments or times.
Well, I'll actually start out with the holy bejeebers moment, just because I think that sort of leads into the other pieces. I was very lucky from early on that I knew I wanted to be a writer, but when you aren't really sure how to use that gift, it can be very sort of frustrating. So I was sort of in the same boat as Manny, where I was like, well, maybe my writing fits here, or maybe my writing fits here, but I wasn't really asking myself, what do I want to create? And that's a very different story. And I finally got to that point where in my life I kept putting my writing in places that didn't feel fulfilling. And I actually, on recommendation of a friend, got a Reiki appointment because I was kind of just having a tough time. I was really struggling with, like, can't really figure out exactly how I want to use my skills and how I want to actually move forward. And it felt like I was a little overwhelmed at the moment. And I got this Reiki appointment. I was like, oh, this is what it's like to feel free, like to really be having that moment of being in alignment where my mind, body, and spirit is just here, and I'm not trying to mentally figure it out. And it was really in that moment where I was like, hey, maybe Reiki would be a cool step for me. Maybe this is something I want to check out. And that for me really was that first step on my personal awareness journey. I think I was already a very sort of singular-minded person in the sense that as an empath, I'm like, that's your stuff, kind of, maybe, but I'm taking it on as mine. So Reiki was the first time I was able to really discern what was happening. And in that, I realized, like, well, it's a lot. I've got to figure out myself first and where I am before I can actually start playing and collaborating with others. So it's been nice the last few years to be able to sort of say, yes, this is clearly where I want to be putting my time and energy, helping people really see the value and the power that they have and how to really share that in the world in a way that's natural. You're not forcing it, it's just you're showing up as who you are, and it fits that way. And how when we all are able to do that, we can collectively come together and collaborate in a way that's very powerful. And that, you know, these two lovely gentlemen just happened to show up and say, hey, you want to play with us? And I was like, wow, that sounds really fun. I think I would definitely love to do that. And here we are.
Yeah, and I'm really so grateful for Big Google, you know, coming up with Google Plus and this Hangout arena where we can get together and play and talk in very different and real ways and build communities in new ways and really have the freedom. And Anne, before this show is over, I do want to talk about freedom from and freedom to, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But right now, because Andy's been sitting over there saying, when are they going to call on me? I'm now going to say, Andy, unmute, because I am so grateful that the the basis of your work so much talks about tribes and connecting with, you know, your tribe, your family, the people that you are meant to serve. And again, you started out sharing with us how rich the work of Joseph Campbell has been for you, and how it has molded or influenced your work. So either share with me, if you care to, a holy bejeebers moment, and then just talk about the evolution of this work, and a little mini introduction to your program, which is going to be launching, I guess, not long from now.
Okay, thanks, Elaine. So my big bejesus moment. That was.
Or bejeebers, yeah, whichever way you want to do it.
Well, I was at university studying business information technology. I've always been quite a techie guy. Did a placement year over in Ireland where I worked for a large corporation, which was great. I thought it was quite kind of stressful at times. Then I left university and I started work as a web developer. I did find it more and more stressful though in those environments. And it was before I left university, I became interested in hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and I wanted to study it a bit more. So I went on a lot of different courses: hypnotherapy, NLP, neurolinguistic programming, all these different areas. And I wasn't really in this pain point which Joseph Campbell talks about, but I did have this open mind and open perspective, and just having that allowed me to create a lot of shifts in my life as well. So, for example, I've shared this many a times, but I soon discovered that natural health is incredible. You know, I went on a hypnotherapy course and I realized you could get rid of pain in an instant, and I thought, if you could do that just with hypnotherapy, surely there's other natural ways to do things. And that led me on a journey myself. But the journey wasn't specifically about natural health, although I learned a lot about natural health through that journey. But it was more about uncovering myself along the way. But when I first looked at the hero's journey, my friend and my mentor, he was the one that delivered a speech that day. He talked about the hero's journey and how it applies to movie and how it applies to the different scripts and mythology and religion. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting, but how does it really apply to my life? You know, does it really apply to my life at all? And obviously I watched his films and I read some of his books, and my world opened up even more, and my journey started to unfold, and I started to realize that as we go through our journey of life, or look to do something extraordinary with our life, we're gonna face challenges, trials, and tribulations, and it can be challenging. And the good thing about it is, once we know that journey, we can then grow and develop with it. And that's when it comes into looking at different archetypes and people that can help you along the way. And for me, it was you know, you've got Manny and Katrina, who's helping me bring this collectively together. But it's just interesting looking at those archetypes that can help us grow and develop. Because they are the people that are going to help us really lead the life we want to lead. And really, tribes come into play because I believe everything is about working together, growing and developing together. We can't do things alone. I don't know anybody that's managed to achieve anything extraordinary without having a team around them, having people that can be their mentors, their guides. And even like we've got the feminine, the divine feminine, one of the archetypes in the hero's journey, who's very much a self-reflective and feminine character that helps you relate to the feminine within you, which is obviously important as well. So that's a brief outline of how I really became so fascinated by the hero's journey, and us coming together in regards to the journey to collective leadership is really. I thought I'd love to talk about the hero's journey. I love to coach people through their stories and help people like become much more productive with what they were doing. And I spoke to Manny, and Manny was passionate about all the mind, body, and stuff, and he had a lot of knowledge around this area as well. And it was fascinating just chatting to him for a long time. And then we had Katrina, that was I would say. She had the divine feminine side. She got the creative side that brings out the different sides in different peoples. But bringing it all together, I thought we had a really good set of skills that we could share with people and help people, guide them through their journey, guide them through their pain, so that they can have a bit more pleasure. So that's what Jenny's conclusion is.
And so, you know, for you making your offering, it's actually a collective offering where the three guiding minds are all visible, tangible, and physical. For Anne, and it might be for you that your leadership team is just more overtly, you know, in the spiritual background. You know, you're working directly with those ones from the other. So whether you see your guides and helpers as physical, tangible, you know, human beings, or whether they are these more expansive spirit beings, it's still this willingness to join with something besides yourself, just your individuated self. And that's what I see the shift is about. And as we do that, we then realize, my expansive spiritual self doesn't really have to defend itself against all this stuff that I normally think I do. And therefore, and I have the freedom, to...
There's the freedom from and the freedom to be the best version of you that you were truly born to be in your authentic, natural state, which is joy and creativity and peace.
And the freedom from...
So I'm going to tie this back into the hero's journey theme that we've been talking about, because in order to really get the context of the freedom from and the freedom to, you've got to look at the whole hero's journey, which is the moment in which every one of us experiences in the mythic journey the call to adventure. And that's that moment when each one of us feels that desire to do something more with our life that's meaningful and in alignment with our soul, whether it's living your purpose or finding your right vocation, your livelihood. There's this call to adventure that happens, and that's what pulls us forward. And in order to be free to collaborate with the people who are your allies on the path, and to develop leadership that is collaborative and team-oriented, and all of these things that we're seeking, community, we've got to uncover and transform and transcend the parts of ourselves that have kept us believing, I've got to do it alone. I've got to carry this load. The martyrdom, the people don't understand me, the do I dare speak my truth? There's all these gremlins inside ourselves that are the dragons on our path of the hero's journey. And so to be free to be your best self, you've got to be battling the dragons along the way of discovering what are your gremlins that you need to be free from. And this is part of the great cosmic joke about the hero's journey, is that we attract the people who show us exactly what is inside ourselves. And so if we've got something that needs to be seen, we attract that potential collaborator that will trigger all of our stuff so that we get to discover, oh, that's inside me. And we think it's out there, but it's in here. And so the hero's journey is really inside our own psyche, inside our own cells, discovering all of the programming, all the layers, all the conditioning that we are carrying and embodying in every moment, and clearing that garbage out so that we're free to be our best selves, shining our light and sharing our gifts and our message. Yeah, so that's a bit of context.
Yeah, so what I want to take just a quick moment to do is, again, just take a minute, just 2 minutes to turn this into something experiential for the folks that are watching. And by the way, I do want to acknowledge, I see lovely Crystal Kazan, who's here. She said, oh, Ryan and I, that's her little baby, are laughing with you. And I've noticed a couple other folks that are here. This is a fella I don't know that's come to Holy Shift Show before. It's Douglas Van Nuys. He's saying, I like this.
Yeah, I know Doug from Facebook.
Yeah, so hey, Doug, we're really here. And then you've jumped on over from Facebook over to YouTube and G Plus land, because we have a great time here. We really, we want to magnetize a whole lot more people over here. And Dave Moore been here. He's been having conversations with Ron Schneeberger, and Jeremy Murphy has been saying, grow where you are planted. Just expand and get on the positivity patrol. Jeremy, I'm so glad you're here today as well. So what I want to take a moment to do, Anne, you did something on your webinar where you led a charge, like riding on your white horse, and you were going to, you had your sword to kind of slay, those things in your path. And that's a really interesting one to do, and I want to suggest to people to find the link, which I've put in the comment stream, to go back and listen to your program, because then you'll get to experience it. But right now, I want to do something a little different, and that is, for any of your inner gremlins that you think are there, this unconscious programming, this subconscious stuff that gets locked in, especially the critical ego voice chattering, telling you, nah, What we want to take those things is acknowledge they're there, and just, if you imagine they're anywhere in your body, just invite them to come on up to your heart, okay? And just say, hey guys, let's play. Like, right here, right now. You're my playmate? You thought you were my enemy? We had to fight? We're going to play. We're going to love. We're going to laugh together. So, just take a deep breath in and just go, ha 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 ha. Unmute my panel. Do this with me. Viewers watching, I invite you to do this with me. You really can love your gremlins, your inner gremlins and your outer gremlins. Laugh with them all. Bring laughter to unconditionally to each one of them. Deep breath in. I see you. You thought I was going to try to kill you? No, I'm just going to smother you with love and joy. No, it's a different way of transforming and transcending, making friends with everything, find new creative ways to play and be collaborative. Katrina, can you speak just in another minute or two, just briefly, about bringing play and creativity into your journey?
Yes, I think that you're right. We get stuck in our mind, and we are already kind of thinking into the future. We're thinking of ourselves as victims. But why not use that to your advantage and say, well, what if I got exactly what I wanted? What if I was able to play and have fun and do things that I'm really passionate about and do that every day as part of my work and as part of my life? So it's sort of taking that visualization tool and turning it around in a positive way. One of the other things I also like to do with people is that they think of the worst case scenario, and then you say, so what? So what if that did happen? Because I think that when you have those feelings of fear, they just, if you can express them just as, using small tools like this or other visualizations, meditation, breathing, yoga, all that stuff, those are very, very specific things, but really connecting with that fear before it actually happens can really alleviate a lot of that stress. A lot of what we're triggering is the fear before it happens. So I think the more you can play with that and do that helps. And I always say music. Music makes me feel good. Being out in nature makes me feel good. So if I can sing or listen to really, really powerful music that gets me going, I feel like I'm connecting with that creative alignment in a way that just feels better. And that way you can it sort of shifts your perception in terms of how you're seeing everything else. So those are some really quick ones. But
I want to jump back on over to Mani again. Mani, You know, on Sunday morning, I went on Facebook, and lo and behold, you know, I just friended you on Facebook, and I'm going through the stream, and lo and behold, I see this cartoon that you've created, and it just cracks me up. And so that's what actually got our dialogue started. And then I said, oh, remember a couple weeks ago, you know, we started a conversation about getting together for a hangout? Well, it took off from there. But it was so much fun discovering that one of your outlets for creative play, humor, joking, you know, is this cartooning stuff. So just tell me a little bit about that. Then I'm going to jump on over to Andy, and then we're going to wind up because we're already at around 3:40. The time goes so quickly. Go ahead, Monty.
Now, one of the things that I discovered that was most interesting is the idea of symbolic self-completion. Okay? Hold on. Come get it, Monty. The concept is that if you can either create things from within, or you can buy expensive things to make you feel as if you're complete. And what I've found is that anything from playing music, doing art, spending time with your family and expressing ideas to them, all those things symbolically complete you. Because something as simple as, and the cartoon you're referring to is a caricature of me with the Kim Kardashian champagne bottle. And I'll link to it later in the comments just for shiggles. For shiggles, you know, to make it fit. But, you know, it's the champagne shot. But I find that by creating these simple caricatures, you can laugh at yourself and eliminate some of the sort of awkward, weird feelings that you might interpret as someone laughing at you about something silly. It's a chance to play and have fun.
Yeah, and so how amazing it is that we live in this digital world, this digital arena, and we have so many creative tools at our disposal. So it's with connecting with others that we can even gain an idea. Oh, here's another tool. Here's another playful tool. Or we can get together in places like Hangouts and like play with some of these things together. Even, you know, when we come on a Hangout, and if you're learning about Hangouts kind of for the first time, and your hostess shows you the Hangout, it's not the toolbox. It's the other one where you can put on the funny hats and sound the laughter and the gongs. It's like, it's so much fun to touch that place of play again. So, Andy, how are you feeling about this whole thing of playing with your teammates and even deeper opening yourself up to joy and play while you're doing this this program with new people and new clients?
I think it's important for us all to understand each other. Obviously, it's obviously important, but have a little bit of fun when you get together. Like share stories, like what's brought you to what you're doing and stuff like that. And I like to do sort of fun images actually on like Photoshop. So I like just playing around with that stuff. So I've got some fun archetype, playful images that I won't share just yet. We're gonna probably keep that for our private members, but they're pretty funny. So yeah, it's good to have a laugh though, and just let your hair down, because collaboration is not all about hard work, although there is a lot of hard work behind the scenes. It's just about having fun and just getting to know one another, being part of a team, and enjoying the journey, because it is a journey. And so,
you know, so if at this point in human history our task really is to connect with our fundamental core, that deep core of us, you know, let's remember, fundamental starts with fun, F-U-N. It starts with fun, and allow that. I want to take a moment now to just acknowledge a couple more people who I do see are commenting in our stream today. We have Pamela Zeman here. She said, thanks everyone. We all have our unique ways to express creativity, and we don't have to buy it from outside sources. Great point, Monty St. Victor. And I see a Joan Korber is with here. here with us, and around 15:38, she was saying, "Wow!" I guess she was following along with our laughing. And let me unpin that. And Lolan Fugelsang is just letting us know that she is here. Sorry to drop by late, but it's wonderful when we have new people joining the flock. So what I'd like to do is give each person a chance to just share an awareness or a final quick thought, and then say something about the program that you are that you are offering now, related to tapping into your joy and tapping into that hero in you that emerges as a leader at this important point in time. And I'm going to start with you.
All right, this is the point when I say something profound, right? No, I'll just say that when we zoom out and look at our lives from the cosmic view, or maybe the soul's perspective, that aspect of us that has a bird's eye view of what our human journey has entailed, it's so important to be able to laugh and lighten up and play with it. Because if you think of yourself as a soul that came to play in the human playground, to have all these rich textured experiences of failures and challenges and triumphs, it's just a big game. And it's okay. And we live it intensely, but we don't have to take it so seriously. So to embody that hero within you and be able to say, I am the hero of my own epic journey, yeah! And really align with that part of you that is stronger than all of the fear, all of the doubt, all of the resistance. We've got to play that game, and it can be really fun. So that's the essence of what I do in my Joy Retreats, and now in the work that I do is the Academy for Joyful Leadership, because there's so many people stepping into their power, stepping into their leadership. So I help them get connected with what your right livelihood is to do in the world. What is your gift? Where is your piece in the puzzle of humanity? And that, let me find my little thing here. There we go. I've got the next retreat coming up in Mexico next month, and that's launching the Academy for Joyful Leadership, where we spend a year working together, mentoring together, and bringing forth your gift, letting you share your passions with the world and find your place in the puzzle of humanity. So charge on, everyone, on your epic journey!
Okay, and so Anne, feel free also to put links or information in the comments stream it well, because
okay,
the links I had in the details, boy, it got all screwed up in the formatting this time. And let me jump on over to Andy now. If you want to start out talking about the journey to collective leadership, as well as your, you either takeaway or thought that you'd like folks to leave with.
Just have to say, and just hit the nail on the head there. It was awesome. That was definitely enlightenment. But no, I'd say, yeah, battle with your inner demons, fight the game of life, and enjoy every part of your journey, because it is a journey, and let's have fun along the way. In regards to the hero's journey and the journey to collective leadership, we're just really excited to be helping people helping you in the audience, or people who might join us on the program, guide you through the journey of life so that you can not have so many pain points, so that you can have a bit more pleasure along the way, and really become the hero in your own life, and bring together those tribes as well, so that you can feel like you're part of a tribe and you're bringing people with you along the way. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Andy. And now Katrina.
I think for me, it's all about mirrors. When you're on the journey alone, you can only see so much. When you're on the journey with others, you get that reflection, you get that infusion of energy, you get that perspective that you don't get when you're by yourself. And I think that not only reflects in the work that I do in terms of helping people really see their creative gifts, but in the journey that we're taking together for the journey of collective leadership. It's all part of the game, right? But at the same time, you're doing this for yourself. there's a desire in there to show up as your best self so that you can play and enjoy and have fun and reflect that with others as well. It's a personal journey as well as a collective one.
Okay, and then you are part of the team with Andy and Mani for this program, and I understand there's a hangout Thursday, is that correct, on the 16th, continuing to introduce the program, is that correct?
Well, the next hangout that we're going to be doing is Thinking Out Loud with Arizona Low. That's also the show that I co-host with her, so we'll be doing that on Friday. But as far as our kickoff, that's not until the 20th of April. So that's when our very first video is, and we're going to be delivering super extra duper value. So join us because we're going to be talking about styles of leadership, which I think, given the conversation that we've had today, it's a very powerful transition that we're going through.
And feel free to put the link into the hangout with Arizona in the comment stream.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay, and Mani.
Yep, I'm Imani free, so just for a bit. My son has her. I think the main thing that I look forward to everyone gaining from the journey to collective leadership is their own hero's journey, sort of building an internal map, finding their own moral compass, finding their energizing team of external accountability to take a journey, like a lifelong journey that at the end they'll be proud of. I think often we get caught in stories that diminish us, and then we surround ourselves with people that fill in the roles in those stories. So by shifting from a victim, perfectionist, critic, or even a worrier story, you're able to move to your hero's journey, find the people that play the positive roles, even the people that normally might be a bad guy. At the end of your journey, you'll find that we're all connected, and even the bad guys were along the way trying to just help you see a different perspective. And so I hope that we can all accomplish that collectively.
Okay. What a wonderful, rich conversation we've had today. And there are actually a couple other comments in the comment stream. Pamela Zeman has some other comments. I want to acknowledge Hypnosystems UK has said they love the Gremlins exercise. The Love Your Gremlins exercise was fun. So thank you for that. And Nicole Lavac has joined us and said the greatest pleasures are usually linked with an experience rather than a thing. And there are some additional comments about that. I would love to invite people to share more in the comment streams about your own holy BAJEEBERS moments or thoughts or reflections on the hero's journey, where you are, or if you have other questions which haven't occurred to you during the course of the program but come up later, put them in the comment stream because the panelists will be coming back and can respond to any of those questions and concerns that you do have. And what I do want to go on over now to, let's see, I want to open up my own Hangout toolbox, and I want to shift this on to let you know that I hope you have enjoyed on this program or on some of the other programs that I've included a little laughter in, this opening of our capacity to bring laughter intentionally and joy to every experience. It really can be a practice, and it's one that requires a decision. And I wanted to let you know that on Sunday, May 3rd, there's actually a day called World Laughter Day. And I'm going to be hosting 3 Hangouts that day. One of them will include the founder of Laughter Yoga, Dr. Madan Kataria. And so please stay tuned. If you would like to be part of actually being in a Hangout live, laughing along, please let me know either privately or in the comment stream, because I'm fine-tuning my ideas for how we're going to do this. But isn't it wonderful that when we join together in laughter, in joy, for health, happiness, and peace, just imagine what we can do to help shift the consciousness of people and see each other more with eyes of love, patience, compassion, creativity, and go through this collective journey in an even more beautiful way. So I want to thank everybody who is here with me today, both live and on the replay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in a link to come on into the Hangout room. I'm going to try to grab that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need help. Andy, did you bring up Comment Tracker by any chance?
I've got the Hangout room for you here. So.
Yeah, if you would put that link in the comment stream, then folks who have been watching live, who are still hanging around, if you would like to come on into the Flocker room with us, you can do that. And essentially, we will say over on out. Let's all open our mics, panelists, and leave them laughing. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Till next time, or see you in the Flocker room. So long.